Hi Cancer, welcome to your December 2018 Tarot and Astrology reading. I just thought I would show you my little globe and how all this snow in a few seconds was shaking everywhere, and then suddenly it starts to fall and stop. Because for a lot of Cancers, it's kind of felt like you were in the middle of a snowstorm. There's nothing colder than a snowstorm. And there's also nothing colder than feeling as if all your arguing disagreements just resulted in coldness and there was no actual resolve. But it's settling now, okay? I just saw that little snow globe and I thought of you guys and all the tumultuous energy for Cancers that's been around over the last couple of months, and how there's been, you know, a lot of hurt feelings, a few shocks, a few disappointments. Also, just that feeling of being in the middle of a blizzard in your personal life. Because arguments, a lot of the time, can get very heated and they can get very uncomfortable. But it's the ones that are cold are the problem, you know, where both people are meeting each other with suspicion, they're meeting each other with coldness, they're meeting each other with almost, well, there's nothing colder than indifference, Cancer. So I'm wondering, for you, do you feel indifferent, or do you feel you've been treated with that, or do you feel like there's been something that you just can't fix? Now, the energies that we have with the Sagittarius Sun Jupiter conjunction for you guys is that 6th house, and that 6th house is our day-to-day. And it's hard to get on with your day-to-day tasks when you feel like you're in the middle of a Wheel of Fortune moment. Because round and round and round she goes, and where she stops, nobody knows. You could be dealing with a fixed sign, you could be dealing with a Scorpio, a Taurus, a Leo, maybe an Aquarius. But this means your fortune is changing for the better. As I say, the blizzard is lifting. So Mars in Pisces, that should feel pretty good though. That should be nice for you. 9th house energy, expansion, travel. These are the type of things that are going to help you work through anger or resentment. This is where you direct your energy, Cancer. If you can travel, do it. If you can get away out of town for a day or two, do that too. Venus moves into Scorpio on the 3rd of December, which blesses you romantically. Gives you this kind of allure. It should be a lot of fun, Scorpio being your 5th house energy. Fun, romance, excitement, good drama. Not bad drama, good drama. Knight of Wands, relocation, changing, travel, that type of thing. Very well aspected. You could be dealing with a Sagittarius or a Leo, a lot of you, and there may have been some degree of confrontation there. I say that because Mercury being retrograde in Sagittarius has put the fire signs into a lot of uncomfortable positions where they have to defend the things that they've said, because there can be a lot of indiscrepancies with the, you know, our behavior sometimes during a Mercury retrograde period can be a little bit unusual because we're not exactly communicating what we want to say. In fact, we can go about things in completely different and unusual ways that create misunderstandings. That's why Mercury creates misunderstandings. It's because we do things differently. Our brain and our mouth under this transit don't exactly match. So if someone has been acting out of character during that transit, and we had Venus retrograde before, and it was retrograding in Scorpio, which is your romantic sector, you know, people might have been saying some crappy things. You might have even said some crappy things, Cancer. You don't know. When Venus was retrograde in a water sign, you guys were under fire, and the fire signs are getting it. Did this person say something that they had to defend later? Are they trying to defend themselves to you? Or are you trying to defend yourself to them, I suppose? Ace of Wands, there's a spark. Challenge though is the Star. You've still got that lack of faith, Cancer. The Four of Swords. Okay. King of Swords. Air energy. Could be an Aquarius. Could be a Libra. Could be a Gemini. So let's think. For some of you, this is going to sound kind of exaggerated, but for some of you, you almost feel like the universe is kind of laughing at you with the star in the challenge position. You almost feel like, why me? Like this is some sort of sick joke about something. And I feel like it's because somebody's let themselves down characteristically. You know, I feel like somebody's maybe said something that you just don't understand. But the thing about the star and the challenge is it means the lack of faith is coming from you. It's not coming from anybody else. It's not that anyone has a lack of faith in you per se. It's that you have a lack of faith in yourself. You're not feeling inspired, but there's an option to feel inspired. The Ace of Wands always gives you that little initial spark. And sparks have to be nurtured. They have to have, you know, the right environment. And maybe you're not feeling like the environment is quite right for you to make this move, so you want to change. Maybe you want to go somewhere else. Maybe going home for the holiday season is what's going to give you that little bit of reflection. That little bit of a better environment to work from. Maybe you're just not flourishing where you are. If a flower isn't growing and isn't blooming where it is, you don't shout at the flower. You change the environment, right? You nurture it more. Maybe you're in the wrong spot, or maybe you're with the wrong people. I don't know. It depends on the context before Mercury was retrograde. Maybe somebody was constantly getting at you, and it's not to do with Mercury retrograde, it's the fact that they're an a-hole. That's always worth bearing in mind. A lot of people, you need to be more patient and more understanding under Mercury retrograde if it's somebody that hasn't, you know, a propensity to say sucky things. But maybe if somebody has been doing this for the rest of the year, you can't blame it on Mercury retrograde. Do you know what I mean? You guys need a break. You have all these ideas, okay? You have great creative energy. Mars in Pisces is blessing you with creative energy to create things. At the same point with the star, you're lacking faith in yourself and you're lacking faith in your vision. You're also lacking faith in the bigger picture. And with the Four of Swords, it means you're burnt out. It's not because you don't have the ability to do this or be with somebody, move. You have the ability to move. You're not a tree. You have the ability to love. You're not unlovable. You have the ability to create something fantastic. Everyone's born with a gift. But your faith isn't there on this subject. And this Ace of Swords guy, he's an agenda in all of this. He's either here to help you, he wants to support you, or he's here to hinder you. It depends what it's doing for you at the moment. If it's an Aquarius, they could be the person that's making you feel a little bit insecure about your abilities or insecure about your situation. Because Aquarius has come up twice now. So what's going on with them? What's the relationship there? Are they always saying something that's making you concerned about the future? Or is it just that under the Mercury retrograde transit they're being unusually flaky or flighty, or they're saying things that you just, you know, you're a Cancer, you're sensitive, you're wondering why would you say that when you know it upsets me? That's what Mercury retrograde does. And bear in mind, if you are dealing with Aquarius, and I'm not, you know, if someone's been giving you really, really sucky behavior, don't take this as a justification, because I'm not here to justify or pacify anybody. And I'm just explaining the astrology of everything. For Aquarius, Mercury is retrograding in their communication sector. So can you imagine what a double whammy that is? They're definitely not coming across completely themselves. Just, you know, to bear that in mind. Because if you're dealing with one that you usually get on with so smoothly and they're being a bit funny, that's why. Okay? Someone's got their back up about something. They're defending their position, and they're actually, you know, this guy always makes me think about, because a lot of people see him as perseverance, you know, determination. But for me, it's kind of like there's this open door. And he's being pushed out the door by these people. And he's not letting them do that. He knows that he's okay to be in here, but we can't actually see what's coming up against him. It also reminds me of the movie Fantasia. Do you know when he chops the broomsticks out of frustration? And they keep growing and growing and multiplying until he's all these little brooms coming at him. Kind of reminds me of that. Defense isn't always the best line of attack. You know? If he was dealing with one broom, if he hadn't attacked the broom, it wouldn't have turned into thousands. However, if you're dealing with someone and you just want to get on the defensive and fight, I have one thing to say, Cancer. Say somebody says something incredibly sucky to you. I mean, like, incredibly sucky. You know, it's personal, it's unfair, it's unjustified. They lower themselves beneath you, right? That's, you know, everyone gets that part. Say the person apologizes, they raise their level. And what you do with their apology can put you right back underneath them. You know, if you respond with something just as hurtful as what they said and a lack of gracefully accepting the apology, you put yourself underneath that person. And then they're elevated and you switch the rules unnecessarily. When you don't have to stay with that person, you don't have to accept that person's behavior, but you can remain gracious for your own sake, you know, because you deserve to be there. Don't let someone put you down to their lower level, especially if they're just going to elevate it and make you look foolish. Four of Wands. Lovers. I'm intrigued, Cancer. Ace of Cups. Oh, Queen of Cups, sorry. Ace of Wands, Queen of Cups. Page of Cups is in the challenge. Another 4. Yep. Cancer. Someone's giving you an apology. You're not receiving it the way they are expecting you to or hoping you will. I feel like somebody's maybe said something or made a mistake. Okay? And because of all the turmoil and the turbulent energy that you've been experiencing over the last couple of months, you're in this position where you're seeing things from a jaded perspective, okay? This 4 of Wands and the Lovers indicates to me this is somebody coming at you with a sincere intention. The Queen of Cups could be a water sign. Could be a Scorpio, Pisces, or another Cancer. But it can also just be your approach is what's going to be detrimental to your outcome. Because with this Queen, she seems to have her back to the Ace the way I see it. She's turning her back. She's sort of turning away from the reading. She's not in any way associating herself with what's going on. As I say, you have a lack of faith in the situation and you have a lack of faith in the outcome and you're disappointed and you're feeling a little bit like you don't want to accept an apology. You just want to be on your own. You want to take a break. Here comes the apology. Here comes the offer and you're not willing to take it because you're on the defensive. And it's almost like you're expecting this to be a poisoned chalice. You're not expecting it to be sincere. You're not expecting it to be authentic. And here again we have the King of Swords. Some of you are definitely dealing with an air sign who desperately wants you to accept their apology. They really, really want you to accept their apology. He's appeared twice in the same position. How does that happen? How does that happen? Numerologically, yeah, whatever. Mercury retrograde, don't ask me about big words right now because I don't know. Words are not easy at the moment, Cancer. It certainly seems the case for you and for this guy. Someone wants to apologize, but you have a lack of belief, you have a lack of faith in this person, in this outcome. And you wanna be by yourself. You wanna retreat. You want to protect yourself. And you feel like offers could be, as I say, a poison chalice. I think when you look at the 4 of Cups, is it apathy or is it mistrust? Because he has 3 cups sitting here, but it's this one that he's worried about. He might think that it's all a little bit too good to be true. He might think it's all a little bit suspect. I mean, would you be suspicious if a hand appeared out of the sky with a cup? I would. But Four of Swords, we kind of got this feeling of tired. You're tired. You're done. You're kind of over this. You're sort of over people coming in and offering you things and then taking them away, or offering you things and then having an ulterior motive. Because with Venus being in retrograde and then Mercury and so succinct after, it is kind of as if nothing has been what it seems. Neptune went direct on the 24th of November. A day after that, tricky, tumultuous Gemini full moon, which was hitting you where it hurt the most, in your subconscious. And a lot of truths maybe came out that you weren't dealing with. A lot of truths maybe came out that made you realize where you really were with yourself. You know, where you really were with your childhood, your attachments to people. And what you're doing, Cancer, when I see these guys, you're fighting off vulnerability. You're fighting off harmony. You're fighting at the expense of harmony. This fight's not necessarily honest, because you're not communicating who you truly are. You know, when we see the Lovers card, these two completely vulnerable people are connecting in an intimate moment that nobody else is privy to. It's very beautiful, apart from all of us watching this, obviously, you know. But it's a very beautiful, authentic moment. Then we have the Seven of Wands. And then it suddenly becomes defensive. These guys can't meet as closely as they do if their defenses are up. Not really. That's not what the Lovers card is. They can't be completely unified if there's a barrier. But I can see why you'd be worried about that. Now, self-love is a big theme of this too. We have the Queen of Cups here, okay, and the Ace of Wands. Maybe your sole focus is being by yourself and healing and reconciling between the hurt that you've caused you. You know, the self-inflicted hurt that I can't do this, I won't do that, I shouldn't be doing this, I'll never be able to do that. Reconciling that, because the Gemini full moon was very, very good at illuminating the grievances we have with ourselves, our other twin. The good twin, bad twin energy that sort of was taking us all in. You know, under the Gemini full moon, even the most angelic of people could have turned into a demon. There was a lot of aggressive energy. With Mercury in retrograde, it was, you know, it was uncomfortable. And if you're dealing with a Gemini, maybe that's why they were so snappy. December for you, Cancer, is so much to do with healing the self, but there's also an opportunity to heal a relationship with someone, especially if it's an air sign, and especially if it is all to do with the retrograde period. And it's not so much how you feel about each other, it's how the planets are making you feel about yourself and their selves. Someone who personally attacks you never feels completely whole as a person. You know, I look at famous people in the media that make a reputation out of bad-mouthing people, and you can sort of see with them that, you know, you think if you were truly happy as you were, I don't think you'd be doing that. Yep. So Cancer, there's definitely an air sign trying to get your attention. I don't know, I feel like someone's really either wondering what they've done or really sorry about what they've done. This is definitely somebody who wants to talk to you. Could be air sign, sun, moon, or rising. Could be somebody in the police, somebody in the military, somebody in law enforcement. Ooh, it could be someone who's actually really successful. But you don't care about that because you've been with people that are successful before, and if they've been crappy to you or made you feel less than, you know that they're not the right person and their success is completely irrelevant. You know that. A lot of successful people always want a Cancer by their side. And they can't take it when the Cancer overtakes them. I think of Princess Diana. She was the people's princess. She was a Cancer. And a lot of people were jealous of it. 6 of Cups. Good times are promised with family this month. Good times are promised with friends that feel like family. There is a reconnection with the past. I feel like someone's come back and apologized for sure. Oh, this is so defensive, right? This person must have done something really smelly on you, because you've got the 4 of Pentacles holding your cards close to your chest, yet you're still fighting at the same time. I mean, I know you're a crab, but how many arms have you got? How do you have the energy to do this? He's holding these so close and then still defending at the same time. Or maybe this is 2 people. Maybe one person's on the defensive and the other person is more passive, but still holding their opinions to themselves. One's trying to be aggressive to move things along. The other one's more passive. Good twin, bad twin. Ace of Pentacles. There is an offer. There is an offer. We have an offer. You just can't balance it. You don't know what to do. The 10 of Swords. Oh dear. This isn't, okay. Let me explain this. Because this song just popped into my head and I don't know who it is or what it is, but it's this song that says, if you listen to what your friends say, you're going to be lonely. You have to do you, Cancer. Do what your heart tells you to do, okay? If you need to take some time off by yourself, do that. I feel like listening to other people's noise and listening to other people's opinions isn't going to help you make the right decision for you. And if you are somewhat reliant on the opinions of your friends, you might actually be in trouble, because if you don't do what's true to your heart, then you're going to resent them and feel very disappointed. How do we start from a 6 of Cups and go to a 10 of Swords? This. Holding back. Being on the defensive. And you know what, Cancer? It's actually your lack of faith that is going to bring you to a 10 of Swords moment. Because you've got a lot of creative control. You have 2 aces up your sleeve. 2 aces. 2. Not 1. 2. Oh, sorry, 3. Okay, it's better than I was expecting. You have 3 aces up your sleeve, Cancer. I'm sure you were all looking at that and thinking, she can't count. You have 3 aces. You have an offer. You have an apology, that's for sure. Pretty sincere one. But the way it's going at the minute, Cancer, you seem to want to reject it. You seem to want to shut off. I don't recommend it. There seems to be a 10 of Swords moment as a result of apathy. And you're not an apathetic sign. You know, you're a feeler. You're a water sign. Your emotions are who you are. You don't reject them, and you can't be anybody else. You can't be a Taurus. You can't be a Sagittarius. You can't be anybody but who you are. And what would the world be without Cancerians? It wouldn't be quite as... I mean, Cancer is the most nurturing sign of the zodiac, right? And where would the world be without that nurturing energy? You think of the other 2 water signs. You think of us Scorpios that can be very unforgiving and sort of view emotions really intensely. And you think of Pisces that sometimes can be very indecisive about their emotions and kind of unsure. And then we have you. But you're the first water sign in the zodiac. You are the maverick of water signs. Don't be ashamed of your emotions, and don't be ashamed of how you feel. And don't be ashamed of following your heart and staying true to who you are, Cancer. Because if you don't follow your heart, I do feel like you may end up resenting the people around you. Especially because for what I'm seeing here, the Page of Cups, the advice you're getting with the 2 of Pentacles could change. Somebody could tell you to do something under Mercury retrograde, and when Mercury goes direct, they could have a completely different tact on things, and you'd say, why didn't you tell me this whenever I was making a decision? You know, listen to your heart. There's somebody here coming in with an apology, and I feel like for you guys, if this person matters, then you should probably take the apology and see what you can do with it. You don't have to dive in by any means, but you can roll with it. You can feel it out. And I'm saying that because Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius is making a lot of us into people we don't want to be, just for a while. Mercury in Sagittarius can make people blunt to a fault, you know? It can make people say pretty intense and aggressive things that they don't mean. So just bear that in mind, Cancer. The choice is yours, as always. Always. Which is why I'm saying you don't have to listen to me. You don't have to listen to your friends. You got to go with your heart in this one. We're going to be moving into Capricorn season on the 21st, and I will get into that a lot more in the mid-monthly readings. But your full moon is coming up at the end of the month, which is going to give you this ultimate release. And with the sun in your partnership sector, things are all going to feel a lot easier towards the end of December going into January. And you're going to be feeling a lot more steady. But as I say, there is an apology. Okay, so we have an infinite supply. Somebody is definitely offering you something that is quite authentic, because we have infinite supply and prosperity. The universe is pouring its abundance out to you. Be open to receiving. Fertility. We should get into that actually. The aces here on fertility. It's a perfect time for you to start new projects, access new ideas, and give birth to new conditions. As I say, you have very creative energy, Cancer. You just are having a lack of faith in yourself. Endings and beginnings. The old must be released so that the new can enter. Letting go of resentment. Letting go of past pain. And unconditional love. Love yourself, others, and every situation, no matter what the outward appearances may be. What did I say? Be compassionate and be understanding, because not all is as it seems during Mercury retrograde. And it's retrograde for the first week of December, and it will be partly retrograding in Scorpio because it moves back from Sagittarius. So when it goes direct, it will be in Scorpio. And that will be your sector of love. So as I say, people could be returning. I feel like somebody might be. This reminds me of that Justin Bieber song. Is it too late now to say sorry? Maybe you are dealing with a Pisces. I feel for a lot of you it's an Aquarius, but sure. You have great creative control over your destiny, Cancer. As I say, 3 aces up your sleeve. This Ten of Swords moment doesn't actually have to happen, you know? It's just letting you know that if you reject something or someone, there seems to be some kind of Ten of Swords moment. And maybe you reject them because they really are a bad person. As I said, Mercury retrograde can't excuse everybody, you know? But if it's a misunderstanding, if it's a few misplaced words, you will know if this is a person who behaves this way all the time or whether it's an astrological thing. You know, there are a lot of memes that say don't blame your shitty behaviour on astrology, so, I mean, I know I get sent them quite a lot, but I do think that you'll make the best decision for you, Cancer. Ten of Swords moments, a lot of the time, are not actually as scary as they are. Oftentimes, it's the end of a negative cycle. That's the way I see it. Because when the tens happened, things couldn't have gotten any worse. You've kind of had your rock bottom moment, and it's time for you to re-emerge as a beautiful butterfly. I'm actually, while we're here, going to draw a clarifier for this Ten of Swords for a little bit additional information. Because I don't want to leave it on a Ten of Swords, even though it signals the end of something. Ah, the World. Successful completion. That fixed sign energy is something else. Challenges are overcome. Victories are ensured. It is the end of a negative cycle. Maybe you're just going to leave somebody behind. Maybe you just can't be bothered to risk it. That's fine. You are your own person, Cancer. You make your own calls. The world always means everything comes together the way it should, though. You honour your lessons, you're grateful for the opportunities, and which is brilliant to know considering the stars and the challenge, which means you overcome your disbelief. You overcome your lack of faith. Nope. And there we go. Last card of the deck, first card of the deck. Major Arcana. Begin again. New beginnings, endings, and beginnings. Either giving something another chance and forgiving it, or leaving it behind and starting over. It's your call. New journey, taking a leap of faith. Faith is restored. Open-minding and embracing the new. Embracing your choice, Cancer. It's embracing your choice. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I will see you in mid-December for some more readings, and then we'll be straight into another new year. So I love you guys. Take care of yourself, and bye-bye.